Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing a little bit more of Tourist Bus Sim today. Hopefully all of the volumes are okay and we're all good to go. But yeah, like I say, I hope you guys are all doing well. We're going to be doing a few shuttle services today. As you know, they are my favourite thing to do. Um, and yeah, like I say, without further ado, let's just get stuck in, shall we? So it's really good to be back playing Tourist Bus. I've been dabbling with with a few other titles here and there. Um, and despite the issues which reside within this game, it is still definitely a nicer game to play out of a few select, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's get going. So I've already selected um, a route already, just to get the ball rolling. But yeah, let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of bussing, shall we? Now on the news front, they seem to be uploading stuff regarding sort of like in-game news. Got a new tab come up today, which is pretty interesting. I mean, well, it depends on how you look at it, really. I mean, it was only for one of the companies uh, that run services on this island. It came up as a prompt as I loaded the game in, so it's definitely nice to see that they're still around, so to speak. Um, but in regards to anything else, like I say, we've literally had nothing in terms of an update or anything like that, which I think is a bit of a shame. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, they're definitely going to have to pull their finger out. Um, I think people are getting a little bit bored now, and they're getting a little bit fed up of things not working the way that they should, um, which I completely respect. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can take before you start to pull your hair out, which is completely respectable. But for the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. In relation to, you know, coming from consoles to PC to doing all of that good stuff, um, it definitely runs better on the PC. We've already established this. It feels almost as if the consoles got a bit more of a dumbed down version, if that makes sense. They didn't include everything that they were supposed to, and I think as a result of that, it's caused a lot of the technical issues and bugs which we're seeing today, for the console version at least. But I mean, as a whole, for the game, for what it is, for how it plays, that's just how you've got to take it, really. There's only so much complaining that we can do, but right now, I think it's just fallen on deaf ears. If I'm completely honest, I think when they do decide to actually update this, I have a sneaky suspicion that it's probably going to be too late. We're just going to have the sort of like hardcore fans of these games hanging around. But even then, I think that, at that stage, no matter what the developer decides to do, I still feel it's gonna fall a bit short, if I'm honest. I don't think that it's actually gonna make a massive difference. Now, if they was to fix the game save file corruption, I know that that situation can be quite rare to some of you, but there are a significant amount of people which have experienced that. Um, and all I can do is sympathise. I mean, I've lost a few saves myself, so it is definitely about time that they address this issue, rather than allowing people to continue to purchase the game knowing that that's kind of hanging in the balance, and that's what you really have to, take into consideration. It's despite the fact that yes, there are bugs and stuff which reside within the game. We also have to keep in mind the good things that this game does offer. And it does offer some really nice things, different services, all that kind of stuff. Just the island, like, holiday tourist attraction vibe. There's no other simulation game that actually facilitates what Tourist Bus does. So we have to, we have to give credit where credit is due. They haven't done an entirely bad job. But like we've discussed before, it's just all the small little technical issues, technical bugs, which are collectively letting the game down. And obviously, it's groundbreaking, or game breaking, should I say, for some players, which is a real shame, because I do like this game and I do want people to experience the good side of it, but unfortunately it's not all good. You do have to kind of, embrace the bad. I definitely wouldn't buy the DLCs, that's for sure. Maybe on the PC side of things, because it's a little bit more stable, you could probably justify it. But even then, the prices are just sky high. I don't know who came up with, the pricing for these DLCs. Obviously somebody that's only got one motivation, and that's clearly money. Um, but it's a real shame to see it. Personally, I much prefer um, companies that kind of get their act together first and then decide to put DLCs in. Just to kind of, it doesn't really show like a negative attitude, if that makes any sense. How's it going, Roa? Welcome to the Roa. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay myself. Thank you for asking. Sorry if I butchered your name there. But yeah, all is well. All is well. Generally in this stream, I'm just going to enjoy the shuttle services and do a few other bits and pieces. But at the same time, I am going to touch basis on generally how I feel about what's going on right now. If I'm honest, I know I've explained a few of these points already in previous streams. But I think now that we're getting a little bit further into this game's life cycle, it's definitely getting to a stage where they really have to change something. They have to update something. There's no other way around it now. They either fix it or they just accept the fact that they can't fix it, and we're left with a broken mess. And it's not the first time they've done that, and I'm sure that it won't be the last. Which is a real shame. We've all experienced it with On the Road, and they say that you can't compare the two because there's two different companies and stuff like that, but they're published by the same people. And even so, even though the publishers aren't designing these games, they have to take some form of responsibility, especially when it comes to publishing and trying to sell the game to people. They have to, like I say, they have to take some responsibility, rather than sort of like passing the buck in a way. It's a blame game. It's not our fault. It's somebody else's, and that's just currently what the developer is like, what the publisher is like. They're like it with every single title that they make. And that's it. I mean, when you come into buying these games, that is what you have to remember. These games are not flawless. They're a bit hit and miss, bit of a 50-50. The save file corruption thing may be a big concern to some of you, especially when it comes to thinking about buying the game. But honestly, for me, I mean, I still play it, and I've experienced that issue quite a few times. You know, so you got to kind of take it as it is. You know, there is an element of frustration when it does happen, and there are certain things that you can do to kind of put less stress on the game, which further prevents, you know, sort of a chain reaction of really bad issues. Um, and I've done a few videos based on that. Don't get me wrong, they're not completely fail-proof, you know. There's just little things which I've kind of assessed and collected over the course of playing this game, and yeah, I just come to the conclusion that really the more that you more stress you put on this game, the worse it becomes for the player. And that's like including like the AI as well. Having your AI, your vehicle density set up too high, you're bound to experience a fair few issues regarding that. So just try and keep it in sort of like a not too high of a number, but just like a healthy number. You know what I mean? Like between 25 and 30 maybe. You know, that's kind of what I set mine to. You know, just to kind of there is traffic, but it's not to the point of where it's so obnoxious you can't drive anywhere, or you know, or you can't get out. It just some of the corners, some of the areas of the map, they're not as exactly free flowing as you'd expect, especially when it comes to sort of like the harbours and the ends of the island. You know, they all just kind of cluster up down there. So it's just nice to nice to keep that traffic free flowing, you know. Yeah, you've got to do it. Yeah, other than that, you know, like I say before, there are a few things which you can do at the beginning of the game. For instance, you know, the first employee that they get you to hire, and the route that they get you to set it for, just leave it as it is. As tempting as it is to change it for a higher paying route or whatever, just leave that first employee and that first route well alone. It seems to help with routes getting confused. Common issue that I have is where, you know, you've selected a route, you arrive there, and there's no passengers there, even though you're at the right time, you know, right day, etc. And you can't get rid of that route. It's just permanently stuck to that bus. And no matter what you try and do, you just can't get rid of it. You know, and the way that people have said to solve that issue would be to finish the route and it'll reset itself. That's what people say. But the problem is, it's like it doesn't actually work, because every time that you repeat that step, repeat that process, it just keeps coming back, and it kind of takes away the fun and the experience, the immersion of the game at least. How's it going, TC Mark? Yeah, so they are currently on a holiday. Now Fabian has recently got married. He's the one of the publishers at Aerosoft, so they're all on their holiday, and I reckon that we probably won't see anything until September time, and I'm fairly confident that it will be around that sort of mark. Whether they're working on it and we get it beforehand is another story. Obviously, they don't lay off too much information regarding really anything when it comes to their titles, which is a real shame, because it wouldn't take 2 minutes, would it, just to let us know? But yeah, I think for that, if we don't receive anything by September, um, then the kind of like hope for the game being fixed kind of fizzles out for me. Like I say, I will be covering this game as much as I possibly can. you know, console and PC. You know, I'll be playing both, um, and I will be keeping everybody, as like I said, as up to date as much as I possibly can. Any inkling of any information, I'll be all over it. Yeah, all over it. You know, but that's all it comes down to. That's all it boils down to at the end of the day, is whether we do get this update. Now, when I say let's get this update, what I actually mean is I want them to update it, as in not just one little bug fix. You know, I want a collection of changes, positive changes, which is improved the game's performance. It's resolved a few of the technical bugs and issues which we've been experiencing. You know, like some of the harder, more gritty issues which have been arising over the last few months of actually, like, you know, playing this game. There's definitely a long list, but I mean, I can deal with the AI not playing nicely, you know, but what I can't deal with is the other sort of like really serious technical issues which prevent you from playing the game, or in fact removing your progression. Yeah, that's it, TC Mark. That's it. Like I say, at the end of the day, you got to look at it in a perspective of merchandise. This is the way that I look at it. You know, if you look at busing in general, trucking, Formula One, anything like that, you try and buy a piece of merchandise for under 25 quid. You're just not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. And I look at it in that perspective, like, you buy these games to be in it for the long haul. If you're buying this game for it to be absolutely perfect, and you want all the bussing in the world, then unfortunately it's just not going to be the right thing for you to buy. You know, collectively, it's not a bad game, but there are a few lingering bugs which really let it down. But yeah, TC Mark, and a few more accessibility options regarding regarding steering wheels and stuff like that. Steering wheel support, you know, we definitely need it. Right. Okay, let's have a look a moment. Ah, so they're going to the airport, that's fine. Oh boy.
¿Qué hay? ¿Está bien mi billete?
Is that right?
Gracias.
Yeah.
Hi. Ist dieses Ticket hier richtig?
No. There are so many passengers.
Merci bien.
Mucho gusto. Es Muchas gracias.
Hi. Is the ticket here valid?
No, it's not.
¿Qué hay? ¿Es billete válido? Hola. ¿Es mi autobús? Muchísimas gracias.
Hello there. Can I ride with this? Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Ce billet est-il merci bien.
But yeah, there's a lot of issues, and especially when it comes to the Xbox side of things. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there,
Is this ticket valid?
because
Thanks a
as you
lot.
can see here, and it works for the PS5 version as well. It's the luggage, which
Hi.
Xbox
Kann ich mit diesem
still
Ticket
haven't got.
einsteigen? Hello. Is this ticket valid? Thanks.
You know, and
there.
for us to be all on the same sort of playing field, it definitely doesn't feel that way. It feels a bit, I don't know, a bit selective really. And I feel for all the Xbox players out there that want to do these sorts of things, but can't. Yeah, that's it, TC Mark. Like I say, there are a few
Hello there.
Can
I board with this? Thank you very much.
obvious problems, and
Hello there.
that's all we can do.
Can I board with this
We
ticket?
can only
Thanks
hope
a
that
lot.
they address it.
¿Está bien mi billete?
But like I say,
Gracias.
I
Hello
I
there.
give them to about
Is this ticket
September, I
valid?
would say.
Much appreciated.
¿Qué hay? ¿Puedo viajar con este billete?
Muchísimas
And we'll
gracias.
see where it
Ist
goes from there.
Kann ich mit diesem Ticket besten Dank.
But they really need, like I say, they really need to really need to address a lot
Puis-je embarquer?
of things.
Hola. ¿Puedo subir con este billete? Muchas gracias.
Higher.
Muchos
ticket correct?
gracias.
Good morning. Could you please check my thanks?
Yeah.
Allô. Ce billet est-il valable? Merci.
¿Eh? ¿Está bien mi billete? 1.000.000 de gracias.
Finally, right, I can get on now. Really don't enjoy that. Yeah, no worries, Mark. No worries. But yeah, right. Let's disembark. But yeah, like I say before, I really enjoy the driving aspect, you know, despite the fact that there aren't very many options, or if no options at all, really. I mean, if you want to change the force feedback, the only real way that you could, well, there's a couple of ways that you could do it. Adjust it in your computer, laptop, whatever, to the way that you want it permanently for this game, or load up a game that supports wheels, close that down, and then load into Tourist Bus. And what that'll actually do is remove the force feedback completely. It does the same thing with pretty much all of their titles. If I'm okay, you block the road for me. If I'm completely honest, it works with On the Road as well. If any of you guys play On the Road too. Yeah, but a few accessibility options would be nice, you know, considering that they call themselves simulators. This is another topic, you know, that makes me blood boil a little bit, is that they call themselves simulation games, bus sims, truck sims, all that sort of stuff, but they're not sim friendly. They don't actually provide any sort of options or anything like that to tailor the way that you like to drive. You know, just being able to use a wheel, that's fine, but force feedback options, it'd be nice, especially for those that don't have access to a computer. You know, it would be nice to be able to change it. The list really does go on, but if you're going to deem yourself a simulation game, at least sort of like simulate what it would be like to drive a bus, you know, in this sort of environment. Not slap it on because it works. There's no effort there, there's no passion, nothing like that. And then what they'll do is they'll chuck stupidly priced DLCs in our faces and call it a day. Oh. Yeah, that's right, Mark. Yeah, voice commands. I mean, being able to kind of go off over the tannoy, so to speak, you know, and talk to your passengers and things like that. Yeah, it would definitely be something which would be cool to see. But you know, these games they only just run, so I don't know how they would manage to implement something like that when they can't even get the basics of things to work, you know. I mean, it goes without saying, you've got to have some level of imagination when it comes to these sorts of games, you know. Even if that's role playing or pretending that you're doing something, you know, you've just got to throw yourself at it, really. If you just you know, like I said, you're expecting it to be the dog's bollocks, you know, and have all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, get the game right first. Even if it's not the if it's not the best of updates, even if they just fix the more predominant issues, that's fine. But I don't want it to be one of those situations like the situation we're currently in now, where PS5 got the update and the Xbox still haven't received it. You know, that's another thing which I worry about. Now, whether they found something on the Xbox side of things that they, you know, Microsoft or whatever just weren't happy about, then that makes sense. But if they do release a new update, I'm hoping that they include all platforms in that update, and they manage to kind of keep everybody up to speed at the same time. That's wishful thinking, though. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think we're going to get a few updates that work like that, and then the rest of them are just going to be like, you know, the current situation we're in. They're very good at, you know, trampling all over us and testing our patience, and then they bring one little tiny fix out and everyone thinks that everything's all forgotten, you know. And that's usually the way. You know, luggage, fair enough. You can use luggage on PlayStation, but there's no point doing the luggage stuff if you can't select a new route or remove a route, or, you know, the core elements of the game just have a complete meltdown on you so that you can't actually function. I don't know. I still think it's worth the money. I still think it's worth playing. You know, it does a very good job with the whole driving side of things, and you know, if you don't take the game as seriously as what some people do, and just enjoy it for what it is, you can have a nice relaxing time. Switch your brain off. Play it in small doses. You know, it's definitely worth trying, at least for the price. But as it goes for bugs, I mean, the list really does go on, and I know that people are experiencing different things at different times. And like I've said before, I feel like the early stages of the game really define what sort of bugs and experiences we have later on. You know, the more established that you seem to become, the worse things get. You know, like I say, my general opinion of this game is it's a bit 50-50, like I said. It definitely needs some help. See, I don't know why they don't team up with another development company, you know, or try and get some extra hands in that will be able to improve the game and help out a little bit more. But I guess that would come down to a discrepancy with cash, you know, with money. Or at least attempt to run this game through a different engine. You know, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, the Unreal Engine is pretty cool anyway. Yeah, but if they was able to team up, you know, with some developers that actually know what they're doing and can almost assure some frequent updates, you know, and bug fixes, etc. You know, I think it would do it justice, don't you? Yeah, that's exactly it, Mark. That's exactly it. It always comes down to money. We knew that was the case anyway when they showed their true colours with the prices of the DLCs that already exist now. You know, there's a current issue right now where people that have bought the DLC packs for Tourist Bus aren't actually able to use them through the career mode. They can only use them in the free play. Yeah, that's a common issue at the moment. I just don't understand how they can justify putting a price tag on those DLCs like that when the game only costs £25 in the first place. If people go, oh yeah, well this game is not a AAA game, you know, it only costs you £25, what you're complaining about. But then if you think about it, if you was to buy the DLCs as well, you are basically paying the price of a AAA game anyway at this rate, you know. Even though that the choice is there, don't get me wrong, you don't have to. But if you're enthusiastic about this game and you want to kind of improve your experience with it by having a variety of buses to choose from, then you kind of, in a way, you're kind of forced into buying it because, you know, that's just how it grabs you, isn't it? There's lots of different opinions and there's lots of different views regarding DLC and the current state of the game. But like I say, you just really got to take it how it is, you know. No, I don't think they do, Mark. I don't think they do. And even if that is the case, then we kind of have to ask the question as to why that's the case. I don't see why it would be tied into just the free play, but I think it's more along the lines of it's a technical issue where people aren't able to actually use them. And there are, you know, and then there is the other end of the spectrum. You know, you've got people that are able to use the buses, you know, and have no issues whatsoever. You know, and then on the opposite end, you've got people that buy these things and can't use them at all. So it's definitely a gamble. You know, buying the game is gambling enough, I find. Purchasing their DLCs on top of that, I think it's just a little bit silly, considering, you know, where the game is at the moment. But people are in control of their own money, you know. People can spend it on what they want, but if you don't do your due diligence when it comes to, you know, buying DLCs for this game, then, you know, it's your own fault, really, isn't it? You know, and it's not just the smaller DLC. It's not just the smaller developers either that pull stunts like this. You know, you got the bigger developers as well. I mean, you think of Red Dead Redemption 2 online at the moment. They've said that they won't be developing the game any further in terms of online stuff. You know, and you think of all those people that have purchased all those gold bars, can't spend them now. You know, for those that have bought everything that they want, and they've got a few gold bars left, there's literally nothing to spend them on. You know, so it just goes to show, doesn't it? But other than that, the console side of things for this game is somewhat acceptable. The PC version of the game actually plays a lot better than what I thought it would. Now, when I was looking into the reviews and things like that regarding the PC version, there wasn't very many. But when I went onto Steam and looked at the reviews, a couple years back, when this game, you know, was in its early stages, a lot of the comments regarding this game are very, very similar to what the current state of the console version is at the moment. Very similar bugs, very similar complaints, stuff like that. So it definitely shows that when they decided to port this game over to console, we definitely got, like I said, definitely got a more sort of like dumbed down, toned down version. And I think that was specifically done just to get the game to work, like as in bare minimum. And it would make sense. You know, they've taken a lot of stuff out of this game for the console side of things. You know, and it's just at a really ugly point where, you know, there's not really much anyone can do about it until they decide to address the problem. As to when that is, nobody knows. TML, Aerosoft, they won't tell you a single thing. But they don't ever respond to positive stuff. You know, if someone's asking a genuine question, they're ignored. But the moment that somebody starts having a go, you know, starts having a pop at them over, you know, their website or Facebook or whatever, they respond to it. You know, so they can't find the time to respond to constructive criticism, but they can respond to somebody that's kicking up a fuss. You know, they just got the bottle to basically say what everybody else is thinking. To be honest, that's all it is. But it is a shame. A little bit more communication would be lovely. But as we all know, Aerosoft are not, you know, renowned for their communication. They never have been. And a lot of people from on the road, you know, they all come in and, you know, say and speak the same similar things. Afternoon, Alexander, mate. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Right, we will park in there. How's it going, Sing? Hope you're doing well, man. Ah, nice one, Alexander, mate. Nice one. Yeah, you haven't missed out on too much, to be honest with you. Just doing well, I've just had a bit of a general rant, really, how I feel about certain things. Just wanted to talk about it, really. I know that, you know, I discuss a lot of the same similar issues over and over again in my streams and stuff, but, you know, I just feel that you know, I come on and live stream to vent how I feel, you know. How's it going, Matus? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, Sing, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at OMSI 2. The only thing that put me off was just the general the graphics. And I know that graphics don't make everything, but when it comes to simulation, it at least needs to look like it's, you know, in this sort of like gaming era. How's it going, BMW man? Hope you're doing well. I saw your comment earlier first. Yeah, Alexander, you know, like they could essentially take a leaf out of Bus Sim's book, you know, at least be able to see other buses whilst on routes, you know, like buses that are assigned to different routes and stuff like that. I think that would be fairly decent, I agree. Right, let's have a look at some new orders, shall we? Well, there's only one. 4 passengers. Hmm. I mean, it seems a bit drastic, taking up that side of things, doesn't it? But let's have a look, see how many employees we actually have. I'm pretty sure I've got like 4. Yeah, I've got 4. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna go to a job market real quick. So if you always get, if you get a driver with the lowest reliability rating or comfort ratings, whatever you want to call it, they tend to get less sick. The higher the higher stats they have, the more demanding they are as drivers, which is it's just doesn't really make sense, does it? But they'll be working from the company tomorrow, so I've got an extra thing for tomorrow. Um, let's have a look at some second-hand vehicles. Yeah, okay, so I will buy the BB40. I will have it delivered. Thank you very much. And we will skip to the time. Well, Mark, I mean, that is one thing, isn't it? You know, I wonder the same thing, and they probably don't. They probably don't. They don't seem to respond to anything, really, when it comes to, you know, when it actually comes to things. But what can you do? What can you do? We can't. As much as we would like to, right, let's have a look. LMJ. Cool, cool, cool. As much as we would like to, you know, like, kick up a fuss about it, there is really nothing that we can do about it, is there? How's it going, Poorhouse? Yeah. I would definitely say that this game is worth buying, despite that, you know, it's got a few issues here and there. You know, I still personally think that it's acceptable. You know, there are a few things, obviously, in the game which a lot of people find frustrating, and that's, you know, that's fair enough. But it still does a very good job with what it sets out to do anyway, you know. Right, LMJ. Right, let's find a route for you, shall we? New orders. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, that's quite a nice one. Trip large. We will take that. So you've got 0 hours. Not anymore. Always keep a couple of employees as retainers, so that when you do have employees that fall ill, you have someone to fill that space. You know. Oh, nice one, Richard. Nice one. Yeah, yes. I mean, it's you won't regret it. You won't regret it at all. And yeah, Alexander, I wish they did as well. I wish they did as well. You know, firm busts on consoles would be excellent. Yeah, I agree with you there, Mark. I said the very same thing when I played this game for the first time. I was looking at the list and I was thinking to myself, but what bus is that? Like, how would I know? And literally, the only way of finding out is either you obviously look on the internet to see what they are, or you buy them all to see what they are. Poorhouse. I mean, where do we start? Yeah, I think the biggest predominant. So we can kind of start from the top, really. So, lack of communication and updates. We don't know when they're coming or what they're doing. That's a big concern when it comes to buying this game. Second of all, there are a few technical issues. Buses not working properly, routes not working properly, save game data being lost. Just in general, AI being a pain in the ass. You know, the list does really go on, but I would say that the main ones at the moment are the save game progression loss and a few other ones as well. But you know, the save progression is a bit of a rare occurrence. You know, it doesn't happen to everybody. See now, everybody talks about the bus, and it's highly spoken of. And to be completely honest with you, I don't think that it's a good game at all. Um, in fact, you have to have a pretty solid PC or gaming setup at least to run it, and even then, it runs at a stupidly hot temperature. You know, it's poorly optimized currently, you know, and the lack of features and content within the game currently um, makes you wonder how they even are able to charge for a early access title. You know, a lot of people think that it's a good game, and okay, fair enough, you know, it is okay, but yet still it's Germany. You can do exactly the same thing on the bus as what you can on Fernbus, you know, and Fernbus runs a lot better. It's better optimized than the bus anyway, you know. But right, let's have a look at some new orders, shall we? Oh, okay, so we have some more shuttle services. Nice, 26 passengers. Yeah, we'll go for the 29 passengers. Hold on a minute. Don't think I selected it. What was it? 29 passengers. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Okay, so it's just accepted it twice. But that's fine, because I can just cancel that one out. Right, let's climb on in. Probably need to get some fuel. But before we set off, let's have a look at the chat a moment. Yeah, Omzi, it does look a bit cartoonish, yeah. But yeah, definitely Paul Howes. They are rushing these games. But I don't actually think they're rushing them. I think what they're doing is they're just stripping them back. Because obviously that you got to understand their PC ports. So what they're doing essentially is stripping them back to an acceptable point of where they run okay for consoles. But by doing that, you know, you lose a lot of details and a lot of functions and features. Yeah, Mark, I've played Train Sim World 2. I'm not surprised that they're bringing out a third one, if I'm honest, but I will say that the game definitely needs like a career, you know, mode within the game. Something like that, something to kind of sink your teeth into. Because you can play the routes and it's fine, but it'd be nice for like a bit more of a progression system, you know? But yeah, phone bus for consoles would be really nice. There's no real reason as to why they can't do that. You know, I have read through a few comments here and there, and they have responded to a few people, and they haven't like said never say never, but it's not on the cards. You know, that's basically what they've said. You know, they haven't really given it much thought, which doesn't make sense. So, next gen hardware meaning like, you know, the internals of like your console. So in other words, like all the pieces inside. How would you describe that really? Yeah, like your processor, you know, your RAM and your graphics card, your GPU, your CPU, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, Paul Owls. They don't actually I don't think they actually test anything that they do, sadly. They just, like I say, they just try and it's almost like they just, like I said, they stripped it down to bare bone, slapped I don't know what on top to try and get it to function for consoles, and then they've just sent it out. Whichever way you look at it, it's quite disgusting, really. But you know, we can't hate on them too much, because I mean, like the likes of Rockstar, for example. You know, when they did the remaster for the 3 games, what was it, San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3. You know, even that wasn't acceptable. So it's not just this game, and it's not just this publisher and developer. It's a common trend across the whole board. They just, any way they can really get money out of you, they will. And as long as people continue to pay for it, it won't stop. Well, the only thing with that, Richard, is that obviously PCs aren't restricted to storage. Neither are they restricted to, you know, to mods and stuff like that. It's PCs can handle more. Plus, when it comes down to licensed and unlicensed things, you know, you get more licensed products on PC than what you do consoles, you know. So PC will always be better in regards to updates and stuff, because there's less hoops to jump through. They don't have to wait for the updates to be verified by the likes of Microsoft or Sony. You know, it's a bit more accessible. They're able to do it as and when, which is why games like this are in a much better state on PC than what they are on consoles. Shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately that's the way that it's always been, and I don't really see it changing. Now, don't get me wrong, the new gen consoles, PS5, the Xbox Series X, you know, even the S doesn't do too badly. They're not bad consoles, you know, but even though that those consoles are perfectly capable of running titles, big titles, it still doesn't change the fact. It just comes down to limitations. That's all it is. Which is a shame, isn't it? It is a shame. Now, sometimes when it comes to PC ports to consoles, you know, this is a prime example. You know, you're always going to get a kind of stripped down version in comparison. It's just the inevitable. There's no other way around it, really. They all seem to do it. But yeah, Mark, the consoles are getting more powerful. I just don't think that they are actually using all of the hardware, and I think that's just down to the fact that they're still making games that are compatible for the old gen and the new gen at the same time. The only time that we're actually going to see them really milk the hardware and performance out of these new gen consoles is when they stop making games for the older gen and just focus on making them for the new gen exclusively. You know, anybody that plays the old gen obviously isn't going to like it, but it definitely does hold back the new gen consoles and their potential, really. There is nothing that anybody can do about that. You know, it's the inevitable. It will happen eventually, you know. Unfortunately, we've all got to buy into it or we miss out. And there's no two ways about it, really. Oh, quite a few passengers here today. Damn. Right, let's get these all on board. Let's just check. let's have a look, shall we?
¿Qué hay? ¿Podrías por favor revisar mi billete?
Oh, he's a valid passenger.
Allô? Ce billet est-il valide?
Oh, so you can actually look at their thing as well to see whether they're going. So I don't think that's right. Yeah.
Hello there. Can I ride with this ticket?
Oh, okay.
¿Es este mi autobús? Gracias.
Not really paying attention too much at the moment.
Ce billet est-il valide? Merci beaucoup.
Allô? Ce billet est-il valide ici?
Hi. Is this ticket here valid? Thanks.
Certainly
¿Qué
is.
hay? ¿Es este billete válido? Muchas gracias.
Hallo. Ist dieses Ticket hier? Vielen Dank.
Salut. Merci de vérifier mon billet.
Nope.
Good morning. Could you please check my much appreciated?
Mahlzeit. Ist dieses Ticket? Vielen Dank.
Hey. ¿Podrías por favor revisar?
See, like this system of things, it could really do with a bit more work,
Vérifie,
couldn't
merci
it?
bien. Salut. Ce billet est-il...
Yeah, that's it, poor house. I mean, at the end of the day, right? They're just it's just gonna constantly be a factor, which I know that not a lot of people are gonna really agree with, but it's definitely something
Is the
that
ticket here valid?
you know will forever hold back the potential of the new generation of
Sehr gut.
consoles.
Darf ich mit diesem
That's it.
Ticket? Vielen Dank.
Afternoon, Venom mate. How you doing?
Allô. Ce billet est-il valide ici? Merci beaucoup.
Hi there. Is this ticket here valid? Thanks a lot.
Salut. Ce billet est-il merci bien?
Hello. Could you please check my ticket? Much appreciated.
Moin. Darf ich mit diesem Ticket? Danke.
Hey. ¿Es este mi autobús? 1.000.000 de gracias. Hola. Está bien mi billete. Muchas gracias.
Allô. Ce billet est-il valide? Merci beaucoup.
Moin. Ist dieses Ticket gültig? Danke.
Sure.
Moin. Könnten Sie bitte mein Ticket? Danke.
¿Hey? ¿Puedo viajar con este? Gracias.
Good morning. Can I ride with this ticket? Thanks.
Yeah, in the luggage compartment. Right.
¿Es este mi autobús? Muchas gracias.
Servus. Ist dieses Ticket hier gut?
Good morning. Is this ticket here?
Servus. Könnten Sie bitte mein Ticket? Moin. Könnten Sie bitte mein Ticket? Besten Dank.
Allô?
I'm gonna be one short because I accidentally sent the wrong person away.
Ist dieses Ticket hier richtig? Danke.
Mucho gusto. ¿Podrías por favor? 1.000.000 de gracias.
Or maybe not. Okay. But at least that's over with. No, so I'm fairly confident that it's the same publisher. I don't think it was actually the same studio which developed the game. But even so, yeah, you're right. But I think we're going to need more help than that. But nice one, Venom Man. I'm glad to hear that you're doing all good. So we do actually have another stream a little bit later on, 8 p.m. We're going to be playing a little bit more Euro Truck. See if we can get some nice distance hauls in for that. So, like I say, stick around if you're new here. Like and subscribe, turn that bell notification on, all that good stuff. You know how it is by now. And yeah, I hope to see the majority of you there. It's going to be chilled out, just a random, you know, topics conversation really. Anything you guys want to talk about, all are welcome. But yeah, like I say, I hope you've all enjoyed your weekend so far. You know, these weekends seem to come round so bloody fast. You know, it's you just can't keep up with it, can you? Oh yeah, Mark. This game, in comparison, on the road they obviously use the Unity engine, whereas this one they use the Unreal Engine 4. So yes, this game does look a lot better than what on the road does. That's for sure. And Euro Truck for the PS5. Oh, that would be an absolute dream. Absolute dream. You know, I welcome the day. I really do. I welcome the day. Not just Euro Truck, but American Truck as well. You know, both of those games. You imagine the money they would make if they was to port those over. Even if we didn't get like all the bells and whistles as to what the PC version has, you know, I would quite gladly accept them with open arms, as long as it obviously functioned properly. That's the only problem with trucking simulation, is that where Euro Truck and American Truck have set the bar so high that every time a new trucking logistical game comes out for consoles, it's an instant comparison, to those titles, you know, and they've you know, they've already drowned before they've got out of the boat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's one of those things, you know, like expectations are set so high. You know, we're all big critics when it comes to what we want and what it does work well and what doesn't work well within a game, especially the simulation side of things anyway. You know, we know what we want. It's just a shame that there's nobody actively, you know, doing something about that. Yeah, I think the only real good trucking game that we have for consoles right now is SnowRunner. But it doesn't scratch that itch for me in terms of like logistical trucking, like actually on tarmac. It's nice to play around in the mud and snow for a little bit, but you know, I don't know. Maybe if they was to make a trucking game, you know, I think they would do a pretty good job as well. Oh yeah, I mean, Richard, you can't even use Euro Truck, American Truck, and on the road in the same sentence. You know, it just doesn't even, you can't even comprehend the differences. But yeah, Paul House, this game is a lot better than on the road. It is a lot better. I just hope that these publishers, these developers, they actually listen to the criticism given and use these games as sort of stepping stones for new titles. And they do seem to be making some form of progress, but the lack of communication and the lack of updates translates between both games. It's just they're both as bad as each other, really. Now, because of that, it doesn't give me much hope, because we've all had our hands burnt, you know, and we don't really want it to happen again, especially with the amount of potential that this game possesses. But you know what they say, you don't know what you got until it's too late. So, you know, let's just hope that, you know, it'll all be resolved by September. We'll get a nice juicy update. Everything will be tickety boo. and we can actually play this game as the way it was intended in the first place. But what are you all up to anyway? You just got me on in the background. What you guys doing? You know, like I say, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for coming in for the streams, showing your support, your comments, everything. You know, it is massively appreciated. And you know, we've got 172 subscribers here now. You know, we're building up a really nice community. We've got some fantastic people in here that, you know, give advice to others in need of help, and that's exactly what I want, you know. Nice little community space where people can come in, express their opinions. You know, and then let's talk about the simulation world, yeah? Let's get the ball rolling. You know, we're not restricted here in terms of conversation. We can talk about what we want, as long as it's not like, you know, what colour you're painting your nails and what colour socks you're wearing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, what fridge freezer you bought. Nah, I'm joking. You speak about what you want, but keep it PG. Ah, nice one, Mark. Nice one. Yeah, I was going to do that, but then I thought I may as well just have a little stream, you know. See what's going on. Ah, damn. Damn, poor house. But then, you know, you got to make money, you know. Got to pay the bills somehow, my friend. But yeah, Mark, like I say, I will stream the next update. I'll keep everybody informed as much as I possibly can. The only problem is like they don't do patch notes anymore. I don't know whatever happened with that, but when they release an update, they just don't tell us what's included in these updates. So in order to be able to actually figure out if anything's changed, you've actually got to play it to find out. So a live stream is perfect for it, because we can kind of discover what has been fixed and what hasn't together. Talk about socks, yours have got holes. Is that right, Richard? Well, if you're interested, I know a guy that sells white socks. Buy them in bulk. But yeah, a little bit of Euro Truck later. We'll try and get a somewhat decent route, and I'll make sure that, you know, we're there from start to finish. You know, from accepting the job to all the way down to parking right at the very end. But I do have a couple more giveaways lined up. Just got to figure out a better way of doing it. I mean, the spin the wheel worked okay last time, but you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, doing a bit of off-roading when tourist bus turns into snow runner. But you see what I mean with the wheel wobbling? Like, you don't get that on console. You literally feel the ground. It's crazy. Oh. Well, this is a little bit adventurous, isn't it? Just a random portaloo. No lighting as well. Yeah, I know about the 2 valid passengers, miss. That was my mistake. But yeah, like I say, there's a few more options, key bindings especially for the PC version. You know, you can customize and tailor it the way that you want it to. You know, and there are force feedback options as well. So I can show you real quickly. But so you can customize as well different key bindings and what different things do for different buses, etc. But you can also change your force feedback settings, damper force, everything, collision effect for, you know, all that good stuff. You know, there's a lot more options which are very questionable as to why they didn't translate to the console side of things, and it still baffles me, you know, to this very day why that didn't happen. Oh, you can't see nothing. I think I should make my way back to the to the coach. But yeah, let's go to map. It's like with the fast travel feature. I've had no issues whatsoever on the PC side of things with the ability to fast travel. Neither have I had any issues with the routes as well. You know, I've got many employees and I've got many buses, and that's not something which I was able to do in the console side of things. Yeah, yeah, Venom, it certainly seems that way. Whatever they decide to do is up to them, you know. But yeah, I mean, so far, so good, right? So let's have a look at some new orders. What have we got? Shuttle service. Blah, 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 blah. See, all these are short. You know, I don't really want to do a short one, but whatever, we'll take that one. Oh, can zoom in and out on the map as well. That's a bit funky. Oh, she's had an accident. Ah, that's going to be pricey. But yeah, like I was saying, like when it comes to buying apartments, buying them for the employees, okay, that makes sense. But everything else, you know, putting different like toilets and furniture and stuff, it just seemed like a giant wasted opportunity, you know. They could have definitely used that in a different area. That's for sure. Right, so let's have a look at that. Calendar. I can't go backwards and I can't go forwards. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. Now that my bus is stuck in the door. I'm actually going to cancel that. I just can't remember which one it was now. I'm pretty confident it was that one. let's have a new order a minute. Okay, so there's one there. Hostel Contamare to the airport. Amazing. Ah, but I've got two now. Okay. Well, we'll just go to the 28 one. Oh, SMS. Yeah, we'll do repairs on site. Thank you. How's it going, Peter? Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. But you can see how different this game looks in the rain. Like, this is how the animation should be on your windscreen. Yeah, Peter. So I do a variety of things. Well, you stop there. Yeah, I do a variety of things, games. So ETS, ATS, Fern Bus, Tourist Bus. I've just recently started playing Bus Sim 21 as well. You know, anything to do with simulation, really, I'm all over it. But yeah, I will be streaming Euro Truck Sim later on, 8 PM. But the crazy thing is like, you wouldn't think that I'm playing Tourist Bus right now. I've never had a face cam, Peter. I've just only had steering wheel camera. Well, I'll keep that in mind, Peter. But yeah. Let's say it's a fairly solid game. With when it obviously in regards to the PC side of things, the console is okay. It's acceptable. I wouldn't go as far as saying that it's solid, because it's not. You know, like we've all discussed previously, there's a few issues that linger. But you know, as the longevity of the game, oh, been caught speeding, never a dull moment. But yeah, the longevity of the game, I'm in it for the long haul. So like I said, I will be covering this as much as I possibly can, in the hopes that, you know, this game kind of gets to a standard of where we kind of like deserve, you know. It is extremely frustrating. Ah, nice one, got the munchies. Well, welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. You know, I don't know. There's, like I say, there's just something about this game which entices me. It pulls me in all the time. Like I always think about, I really fancy playing Tourist Bus today. Do you know what I mean? Like there's that aspect of things. I just don't ignore it. You know, I enjoy streaming this game. I enjoy playing this game even when it's off stream. But I find that it is. You know, it's okay in small doses. Some of those longer trips, they're a bit tedious. You know, you're like, oh, is it over yet? You know, are we there yet? How's it going, Conspiracy Kitty? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, that seems to happen a lot. Conspiracy Kitty, it's definitely you know, one of those like simplified things, just switching it off and turning it back on again. You know, I do that a lot on the PS5 version. You know, if it's not working, I just exit game and reload it, and it fixes it. So I guess at least that you have that to fall back on if all fails. I like how you can... Yeah, that's it. That's it, Conspiracy Kitty. That's it. It's definitely a nice element, that's for sure. He's got... I'm glad that you say that, got the munchies. I mean, it does prove the less stress you put on the game, the better it plays. You know, there's no two ways about that. Let's just catch up with the chat a minute. In America, we drive on the right side of the road. In England, we drive on the left side of the road. In Russia... yeah, that's very true, Peter. That's very true. In Russia, we have no traffic. We drive tank. That's how it goes. Right. I suppose the only bonus of the weather currently in the game is I haven't got to deal with that obnoxious like sun ray. You know, I feel like I can get a tan from it in real life. You know. No worries, Conspiracy Kitty. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Can't lose your streaks. I see, Peter. Wow. Gotta love it. Oh, what's he going on here? Come on. See, now this is where a monster truck or a tank would be useful. Okay, you're gonna let me out, even though that you have right of way. Never mind. I'll take it. So I have the Logitech G29 conspiracy. Yeah, I can imagine it is. Can imagine it is. I mean, like I say, the Logitech G29 has been brilliant for me. I have no real complaints over it whatsoever, but it has got to that point where I do want to upgrade it. I've got a few ideas in mind, but I'm going to solely base what wheel I get around the games which I play. You know, so I'll probably end up getting... Do you know what? I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. I think it's taking me to something that's broken. What is going on? Well, I've never experienced this before. I don't know what this is all about. Oh. Oh, okay, so I have to actually go and manually repair it. Well, that's a bit bizarre, isn't it? I mean, I thought I was on the route to go and pick some passengers up, if I'm not mistaken. So I will cancel that route then, and what I'll do for my vehicles, that's available at... Okay, so they did have a hefty crash, but that's fine. Okay, so you can't only sell them until they're at the depot, which is understandable. Okay. Well, let's fast travel back to the office then. Yeah, you say that, Conspiracy Kitty, but there are actually a few wheels which do work for GTA 5. They're just on the lower end budget wheels, like nothing with force feedback or anything. Yeah, it's just pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, right. But like I say, we managed to get a few routes in play. You know, we managed to have a nice chat, nice experience, and anything like that. But I think I'm going to wrap it up for today's stream for Tourist Bus. Like I said, I will be back later on around about 8 p.m. for a little bit of Euro Truck. So if I don't see you then, I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your weekends. You all take care, you stay safe, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.